Today is the 29th Sunday of Ordinary Time, Cycle C. In the first reading, so long as Moses held up his staff, the Israelite army had the upper hand in the battle with their enemies. At a basic level, the symbolism of the story is that once our arms are outstretched in prayer, God will help us in our struggles regardless of our enemy. It could be addiction, illness, mental challenges, unjust aggressors. However, the staff of Moses was a powerful symbol of God's presence, power, and protection, and his mercy towards the people of Israel. What happened with Moses' staff during his first encounter with God at the burning bush? Exodus chapter 4. The staff became a serpent and changed back to a staff. The staff was to be proof that God had granted Moses the authority to set his people free. Moses used his staff to initiate many of the 10 plagues, the turning of the river Nile red, the plague of gnats, then of locusts, sending down hail, etc. Prior to today's story, Moses parted the Red Sea with his staff and created a path to freedom. He also used his staff to close the path in the Red Sea and to kill Pharaoh's army, which was in hot pursuit. When they ran out of water in the desert, Moses was instructed by God to strike the rock with his staff. And when he did it, water flowed from the rock. The staff was a powerful symbol of God's presence, power, protection, and mercy towards his people. What is one of the most powerful symbols of our faith? The crucifix. The cross is a paradox. It makes a statement that seems to say two opposite things, of which both may be true. For the Romans and the people they had conquered, crucifixion was a symbol of defeat, humiliation, and suffering, a slow and painful death. It was supposed to drive fear into those who had been defeated and to remove any thoughts of rebellion. For Christians, the cross is a symbol of victory over injustice, over slavery to sin and death itself, and of God's love for us by the sacrifice of his only Son. As St. Paul would say, because of the resurrection, death has lost its sting. Like Moses' staff, the cross is a symbol of God's presence. I will be with you until the end of the earth. Power and protection and mercy. There is a story of a very successful businessman who revealed that the secret of his success was a cross he kept in his pocket. Whenever he had to make a major decision or face a crisis, he prayed while holding onto the cross in his pocket. In the Gospel, Jesus tells us to pray without becoming weary. The characters in the parable acted completely opposite to what was expected of them in Jesus' time. The law required the judge to protect widows and orphans. It would have been very unusual for a widow in Jesus' time to represent herself. Jesus is telling us that perseverance in prayer is required even when there is injustice. Also, we have to go beyond the norms. Of course, accept violence and accept additional duties and hardships in order to seek justice. God will help those who help themselves. Jesus also empowered those who believe that they are helpless and victims of a cruel world. Hearing the success of the judge who represented corrupt power and authority should give us all hope that the challenges of creating a society of peace and justice in this world is not beyond our dreams. Amen.